And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Plague Week 63 of the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes a guest. He's a comedian, podcaster, writer, doughboy, and hunk enthusiast. It's Nick Wiger. And he's a comedian, podcaster, actor, birthday boy, doughboy, and tomorrow war boy. It's Mike Mitchell. Tone Zone is here to pretend to be thrilled to be doing yet another goddamn podcast. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Hello, my little Monte Cristo sandwiches. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon.
Patreon.
By Candace Vick. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. We got weekly bonus episodes, Zoom parties. There's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. You can see this particular video. And what a video and behind the scene glimpse you'll get on this one, because what you don't know is this is not our first time starting this show. There was a whole pre-show snafu, if you will.
Ooh.
I mean, we appear to be a well-oiled machine now, but we weren't earlier, and you get a real big dose of that, but only on Patreon. And then I feel like I'm leaving out something major that you get. Oh, well, but what fun it is. I love it. It's fun. People seem to love it. And if you sign up for a year, you get 2 months free. So 12 months for the price of 10. Okay, enough of this QVC hard sell. Oh, and you can submit carbohydrates. I'm very excited to welcome my guests. Daniel Quantz, hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. You know, this is just a lovely Memorial Day weekend where I'm just remembering things. Mostly the troops.
It feels,
you know what I mean?
Feels appropriate. I have comments
just
on
here
that.
Thinking about them. What?
I have comments on that. But first, I must say hello to my other guests who I think have, you're merely 30 feet away from me you're in the house, I'm in the studio, and I feel like the connection is really bad. I mean, you look fine, but I can tell that there's a delay. And what the fuck, people?
Everyone's Googling the troops right now.
I guess so.
So it's just bogging down the network. So I had to get on the 5G. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? It's our fault for trying to record this on a day where we're just supposed to be remembering. Yeah. Mike Mitchell, a.k.a. Mitch. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Just with all the technical snafus just in podcasts over the past year, I think we should have all shut down during the pandemic. All podcasts should have gone silent during the pandemic, I think. But they needed us too much.
I think you're right.
The world needed podcasts too much because we do a great service. In many ways, we should be remembered today too.
This is yes.
Yeah.
I think instead of running on Wi-Fi or 5G, what these Zoom podcasts have been running on is the need of the people.
Yep.
And that's why sometimes it's choppy and lags. Nick Wiger, hello. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you guys on the show. I can't believe I've never had you on before. I have all sorts of things to ask you.
Wiger, I was going to say in Beetlejuice cosplay today.
I've got a striped white and black shirt. It's actually like a dark blue, but it looks black on the Zoom record.
Oh, all right.
Look, I got some. I'm trying some. I went clothes shopping for the first time, like last week. It was a weird. I hadn't done that. I mean, not first time ever. First time since I was operating solely on hand-me-downs for the first 40 years of my life. I went to clothes shopping, and it's a weird. Like anything, this is the most trite comment right now, but it was a weird experience. It was just like weird. I was like, wait, I can try clothes on right now? That's allowed? And then the guy was like, yeah, they just started allowing that again. And then I was like, well, that still feels odd, but I guess I'll do it. And I bought some clothes and I'm wearing them now. And then Mitch is making fun of me. So things are getting back to normal.
Do you feel like a new man with your new clothes? Because Daniel and I went to our first social outing, a backyard birthday party yesterday, and
Wow.
I was like, I
Terrifying.
have nothing to wear. So I had to go like years back in my closet as if I have filed it by years. And I went into like 2017 and I pulled out a sweater and I wore it and it was fine. But I was like, I'm overdue for buying new clothes.
Yes, well, and also during the pandemic when we were all locked down, I did the Marie Kondo thing with my wardrobe. So I got rid of a bunch of clothes, and naturally, because I was just wearing sweatpants and basketball shorts around the house, I got rid of too much stuff. I got rid of almost everything, and so now I'm just like, I've got like a handful of t-shirts I got for free, and so yeah, I had to buff up the wardrobe a little bit.
You look a little. I said Beetlejuice, but you look kind of like a hunky Hamburglar, or
I'll take it.
Maybe like a Popeye, like an extra in Popeye. You look like it looks like a sailor shirt in many ways. What you have on.
The extra in Popeye that they have to give direction to be like, hey man, just stop looking at the camera, like just. Sorry.
For me, going back to the Marie Kondo thing, the pain I feel over throwing out something that I wish I had is so much greater than the pain my husband or I feel over my shit being everywhere. And that's why I'm like a proto hoarder. I'm like headed to Hoarderville if I don't get it under control. I have
Which contrasts with the joy that I would feel throwing all your shit away.
True love is Daniel was so sick of my shit everywhere that he bought a bunch of plastic bins and like organized my shit, and we still have it all. It's just in the garage in bins.
That's like a marriage hack. Like, just extend yourself beyond the other person's tolerance, and then the other person will do all the work.
Oh, you mean I have affected this hack?
Yeah. If you don't want to do what you really should have a special Instagram channel or something of how to fuck with your spouse.
Thank you.
Hacks.
I have more to say about that, but there's someone who has been waiting.
It's like the retin-A on the face that makes the husband have to do anything outside.
Okay,
because we don't want to, get any sun. The sun will burn your skin.
I am using retin-A on my face. I can't go outside without proper sun protection. So yes, if I haven't applied that yet and I need something done outside, I will ask you. I feel I am well within. I feel it's very reasonable. Mm-hmm. And it works out for me.
Yeah.
It's so great to get this preview of you guys renewing your vows.
Okay, there is someone who has been waiting patiently who I am sure thinks that I have forgotten about him, but I haven't. I've just been waiting for the right moment to let everyone know Tony Thaxton is here as per usual. Hello, Tony.
Hello, here I am. A question on all this clothes shopping and wearing right now. I guess specifically for Wiger. First, with the buying of new clothes, how have you done in this last year? Did you have to change sizes at all? And I'm wondering if anybody else has had that.
Good question.
Great question. I'm thankfully, I did bloat up a bit. I did bulk up a bit, and then I slimmed down a little bit in the past couple months, so I'm at the same size. Which for me is a large in shirts anyway.
The slimming down, was that like, we're going to be re-entering society, I've got to do something about it, or was it just au naturel?
I think it was. I honestly was just I'd been so much just stewing around the holidays, just kind of mired in anxiety and depression, and then just overindulging in food and drink that I kind of knew it was more like a New Year break. It was more like, you know what, I'm gonna eat a little better and I'm gonna get back to doing some cardio.
Got
so
it.
When you say stewing, you're being literal, like you were. It was stew.
Just hanging out.
Big cauldrons going all day
in an Instant Pot.
Yeah.
Tony, did you think I had forgotten you?
It crossed my mind, and I refused to speak until I've been introduced. So
I like it. It's a
good podcast form.
Good, you have those principles. Okay, Daniel, I do want to get to something I've realized about my laziness and your energy, which we'll get to later. But first, I need to ask, I know, what a tease. I need to ask my specific Nick and Mitch questions. Okay. When I was on Doughboys recently, and I had the best time ever, we did Olive Garden. People, if you haven't checked out that episode, please go listen to it. You guys were talking about getting ready for this like 25-hour telethon you were going to do, and you hoped you didn't die because you had read that could be a side effect of staying up that late.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're both alive. How did it go?
Well, not sure if Nick's alive just because, again, he's dressed like Beetlejuice, so I can't tell if there was some afterlife exchange. But I made it through it. I think both of us can say that it wrecked us to the point of we probably wanted to be dead at some point, and it messed us up for 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the event because we were getting ready to do it and we were overwhelmed, and then after the event our sleep schedules were messed up, right, Nick? I think it's the same with you.
For sure, yeah. And then I was, I basically stopped exercising. I had gotten into this good habit, and then I stopped exercising the week before because I was just so busy with prep. And then the couple weeks after, I was just it's amazing how long it took my body to recover from this thing.
Just
this thing that
night.
that ER nurses do routinely. I'm like, how are you able to do this?
Yep.
I didn't once, and I was in my house, mostly seated at my desk, just talking into a camera, and I felt like I was going to die.
Yeah.
What were the side effects? Like, as it went on, what was the feeling? Did you guys both actually stay awake for 25 hours?
Not intentionally. I tried to. So we both were like, we'd read about people doing this, and that people will literally younger than us die doing this, and we're like, let's just take it down a notch. And so we each scheduled in a block of time, 4 to 6 hours, where we could kind of get off stream. The other of us would handle it solo, and we'd try to get some shut-eye. I think Mitch maybe slept like 90 minutes total, and I didn't feel like I fell asleep at all. I was just awake the whole time, but I was at least lying down and not having to talk.
But you were on cam, right?
Well, Mitch was on. Okay, Mitch, you can talk about this. You insisted on sleeping on camera.
I did. I had a sleep cam. I was on. There was a sleep cam for me where people just thought I was dead.
Yes.
And that's true. People were afraid. They were like, "He's dead." They were, and the cats were laying on top of me. And then Nick had a friend check in on me. Waking up in that moment, it was the worst decision to fall asleep because I felt awful. But the 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever I actually fell asleep just made me feel way, way worse. I was feeling better before. But the worst moment of all before was like an hour before that when I was awake and I was doing a tour of my hometown and I had been up all night and hadn't slept, and it was like a bright sunny day, like a beautiful day out.
Ugh.
And I was like out and out of my mind, like, having been up for whatever 20 plus hours at that point, and I wanted to jump off a bridge. It was terrible. Like I wanted to end myself in that moment, and then I actually physically felt worse after we slept. But you're not, if you're over 30, I don't think you're supposed to do that. I don't think
no, don't do it.
Don't do it. It's bad.
It's amazing how easy it was when we were young to do it, though. I can remember so many times in college and then even after college, it usually was like at a party, I met someone, we were having some stupid, deep conversation, and then it's like, oh my gosh, the sun is coming up. And then you just keep, like, the sun snuck up on me so many times. That could never happen now. I forget, maybe I even said this on your show. I took a red eye, I think when I was either in my I would have been in my early 30s. And I was flying from Orange County to New York. And I felt so out of it when I was walking through the airport on the other side of it and then getting in the car that I was like, I don't think it feels unsafe. Like, I don't think I could protect.
Right.
I feel like I'm going to wander into traffic. I'm so out of it. I don't think I can do this anymore. And then we had kids. That was the I mean, I'm so happy we have them, but talk about sleep deprivation. Oh my God.
Right.
It's actually, I imagine it's making Daniel feel better hearing that one night of no sleep fucked you up for 2 weeks.
And it really just, and I used to stay up till the, I think it's a thing of staying up till the sun comes up and then going longer. Like I remember people would be like, I partied for 2 days straight. I didn't even do that when I was in my like 20s or whatever, or in college. I'd be like, why? You're just gross at that point. It's disgusting. Like you're gonna stink. Like there's like nothing good that comes from going like partying all night into the next day. Like even day drinking, I don't like that sort of. It's just never really worked for me. I'd party at night and then
so groggy.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I would go until the sun came up sometimes, but like that's why the most depressing part was like the sun came up and then it was like 11 a.m. the next day, and just being out and amongst people, you just feel wrong. You don't.
Yes.
It doesn't feel right.
Yes, it's a home tour of shame.
Yeah, truly.
For me, it was always in the context of studying, cool things like that. But I would just plan I'll go to the library and I'll study all night for this midterm that I have coming up, and it would just be like a thing I just budget for and then just do, and then I'd be fine. And I was 19 years old, and now it's just like it's an unthinkable thing. As far as day drinking goes. I agree. I don't like getting drunk in the day, but I'll take a little buzz from like a solitary brunch cocktail. Like give me like one michelada in the middle of the day, and like I'm good with that.
But now, like when you do that though, you can go home and go to bed at 8 p.m., which is a normal bedtime for you now. Yeah. But back then, like you would do that with the idea that you were like people were like, let's drink at like noon or 2 p.m. and then they go till like 4 a.m. or something. Yeah, and that to me was like it never. I feel like it never worked. You get too sloppy. No. It's gross.
Yeah, I feel like anyone who says they partied for 2 days is leaving out the part where they were doing lots of drugs.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's the secret ingredient. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Tony, you're a rock star. Can you do rock star hours?
First off, not a rock star. Second, I've definitely had lots of late nights, but like nothing super crazy. I feel like the times I can remember being up the longest were for reasons of like international flights, and I just can't sleep on planes. And so like, I feel like I've had times where I've been awake for like 30 hours straight, which is miserable.
Wait, you can't sleep on planes. This is a thing I also have. I also suffer from. Yeah. I'm wide awake the whole time. Mitch and I will travel together for Doughboys live shows in other cities, and Mitch will like almost immediately fall asleep in his window seat, and I'll just be wired the whole time.
I'm so
it's a thing I envy.
Yeah, same. You're wired the whole time because I'll get tired. I just won't sleep.
No, I can't sleep. I'm like wide awake.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I go right out.
Oh my God, you guys are like the human embodiment of tired wired.
It's true.
Magazines do that.
You're the wired? I'm the tired?
I guess so.
Fuck it up.
Okay, I think it is time for Yes Please or Oh Please. This is our signature segment that I always forget the name of, and it's also not our signature segment, but this is where I bring up something highly controversial. You might get canceled over it, and you got to weigh in with your hot take. And I'm not looking for diplomacy. I'm not looking for fence sitting. I'm not looking for making nice, pussyfooting around. I want your hardcore take on something that is dividing the nation. Just you wait till you hear what it is.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
He said, yes, please, give me some of that. Oh, please, that's much crap.
Well, it turns out that today's Yes Please or Oh Please is the carbohydrate that Candace Vick sent in, Monte Cristo sandwiches. Now, if I remember correctly, this is ham and cheese between two pieces of French toast with powdered sugar and syrup. Can someone confirm if that is what you think it is?
I believe the whole thing is deep fried.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, the whole thing is deep fried.
But it's French toast, right or no?
It's basically is, yeah. It's like it's the whole thing is battered and then dunked in a deep fryer, so it's functionally French toast.
Okay. Now you guys got a sneak peek of how I feel about it on our pre-show show. Before, it's a long story. It's a Patreon only story. But Daniel, you go first.
Well, having never had one.
Oh,
but,
no.
Wow.
All right, so here's my evolution on it. I started out as a please.
That's a
when
thumbs down.
I lived around the corner from a place called Cafe 50s, which if you live in the West Side, you know of. It's one of my favorite diners. And they had it on the menu, and I'd never heard of it, and I was like, you got to be fucking shitting me right now. You're going to deep fry a sandwich? But then later in life, I saw pictures, and it looked really yummy. And then I saw that they serve them at Disneyland in New Orleans Square.
Yep.
And thought, too bad I gave up on eating pork. Because I would really like to have one of those. And I almost made an exception. But so I still haven't had one, but I would say yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
I hope you don't get canceled. Nick, what about you?
That you bring up the Disneyland one was what my starting point was going to be, because I've had that Monte Cristo sandwich at Disneyland, and that was my worst day at Disneyland. That was a bad experience. It was real rough. It was a real rough post show to eating that big old heavy ass sandwich in the middle of the day. It's a lot. It's too much. The thing I'll say on the show is unga pachka. It's got too much going on for me.
Is that a real phrase?
Yeah, it's a real phrase. I guess it's a Yiddish phrase. My friend Emmy told me about that means just like it's got like one thing too many. Yeah. So I can't, the Monte Cristo, I can't do it. I just can't subject my body to that much to just that much stuff.
I've heard that it's smaller at Disneyland. They've reduced the size of it.
Oh, that's good.
Like a Monte
maybe
Cristito. So you're giving. So what's your rating?
My rating. Well, I know you said no pussyfooting, but that's my whole thing. But
You've got pussy feet.
But it was my late grandfather's favorite sandwich.
Oh, you got sentimental.
And he
ties.
was a veteran.
Oh.
So I'm going to say yes, please.
Wow. Stirring. Okay, Mitch.
Nick's grandfather fought for the Germans, by the way.
You're right. We always assume a certain side.
Yeah.
Christ.
You got to remember him anyway, though.
I want to hear more about your day. What happened? What was so bad about?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can put it together.
Yeah, you don't really need to hear more.
I do. Tee-hee. Oh, is that what are we talking about? Was it a flatulent situation, or was it more of a belchy kind of thing?
I think it was a personal Splash Mountain.
Jesus.
What, was it the rumblies, Nick, as you'd say?
Yeah, it was a bout of intestinal distress. Pretty unpleasant.
I'm gonna go. This will be surprising, maybe to some people. Oh, please. If I'm at a diner, I don't really want the Monte Cristo. There's a million things I want. I mean, like, if I'm in a diner, I want like a pastrami sandwich, or I want breakfast. I want like eggs and bacon. I don't want this crazy sandwich. I've had it before, and it is good. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. There's so many other things I'd want before this fucking weird deep fried sandwich. Give me anything else.
Yeah.
No
Good.
thanks.
Tone
No, thank
down.
you.
I think I'm pretty much seeing exactly the same way as Mitch here. I feel like I've maybe only had one once, maybe, and it's fine. But yeah, same thing. If I'm out and that's something a place has, I'm probably going to get something else. So I'm going to just say, oh, please.
Yeah, and I think you guys know where I think I've been clear from the beginning.
You love them? Can't get enough.
I give that, and I eat weird combinations of shit. Like, I am that. Everyone knows that about me. However, this, and it's not just because it's like
Wait,
social.
everybody knows that about you?
Everybody knows that about me.
I don't think I know this.
You know I eat. You don't.
Cabbage
No.
with Truvia, anyone?
I don't put Truvia on it anymore. I've stopped putting Truvia on savory. Well, that's not true, but pretty much I don't. But anyway, and it's not just because this is like a socially acceptable weird thing and I got to do my own weird thing. I am just giving this an oh, please, because years ago in Las Vegas, and this is like a Las Vegas menu room service staple. I think I mentioned my parents, we used to go to Las Vegas a lot. That was our like family vacation, and it really wasn't that fun for kids back then. But we did go to Circus, and that was usually fun. I mean, we didn't stay there, but we would go there while we were there. Anyway.
Similar family vacation. I went when I was like 13, when I was younger, and it was not great for kids.
No. It hadn't turned into, it really wasn't what it has become. Do you remember where you stayed?
We stayed at what's the one with the Mirage, the one with the volcano out front?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the Mirage, and the same thing. Circus was like, we went there, and that was like the most fun. And there was like one place with maybe like an indoor roller coaster, but it was April and it was very cold. So we were supposed to go to like a water park, and it was cold. Then we went to the Grand Canyon in shorts and sandals, and when we got to the Grand Canyon, tons of snow at the top. It was just like there was just like a foot of snow.
Wow.
And so it's just like everything was not.
What an extreme vacation.
It was fucking extreme.
Yeah.
The bad extremes. It was awful.
Right. And Daniel and I went to Circus as adults, and it has really, I'm surprised. I almost felt like we were going to get held up there. It has become so seedy. And I don't think it used to be.
Place.
Yeah, it was very depressing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that was like old Vegas, basically, right? Because like, before, like what the Strip is now was even existed, I think.
My dad stayed at, I want to say he stayed in Circus once, and I went to visit him, and he stayed in the rooms that are like behind the main building. So they have like the main Circus building, and then behind there are these like just rows of just regular ass hotel rooms. And I swear to God, it was like stains in the floor in the shape of a body, like that kind of stuff.
Lord.
It's just like, like nobody has seen more corpses than the house cleaning people at Circus.
Oh my God.
So back to my gross sandwich. I ordered it from room service. This thing that looked like French toast with a little bit of cheese squishing out of it and powdered sugar and syrup, all things I like. Took a bite. Like, no, this cheese, syrup, and powdered sugar has no business coming together. Again,
Gross.
I like weird combinations of things, but this did not work for me. And since then, I've been strongly, please, where Monte Cristos are concerned. Monte Cristo sandwiches, if you're listening. Ooh, Tony, let's do a segment within a segment. Hey, Monte Cristo sandwich.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
I said it, and I'm not afraid to say it again. But speaking of strong feelings, Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. In May's Mental Health Awareness Month and throughout June, Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend is proud to join the cause of destigmatizing therapy. I have been in therapy for many, many years. It's why I'm basically super perfect, fixed, and healthy.
Some would say not enough.
I'm joking around, but really, I strongly, strongly believe in therapy. I recommend it for anyone who is going through something hard, or even not, just anyone who's open to it, I think would benefit from it. If you're struggling with relationships or having difficulty sleeping or meeting your goals, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, BetterHelp counselors can listen and help. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It is more affordable than traditional therapy. And also, if you don't feel like the first person that you talk to is the right match, you can change as many times, and it's not an extra charge. So you don't have to feel like, I'm afraid of the commitment of this. Which I think that's a very natural thing to feel when you're looking at starting up therapy. So you don't have to worry about that. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/bestfriend. That's better, HELP.com/bestfriend. Again, that's BetterHelp, BetterHELP.com/bestfriend. I also want to tell you guys about my favorite sheet and really lifestyle company, Brooklinen. Daniel and I sleep on Brooklinen sheets. We have Brooklinen towels. We have a Brooklinen comforter. We are outfitting our entire life in Brooklinen. I love them so much. I love their stuff so. Tony has Brooklinen towels.
I'm so dry right now.
The driest. That's right. I like
How
to
do
get
you
out of the
get so dry, Tony?
It's Brooklyn, and it's the Brooklyn and magic.
It is really though. All of it is. Your home is your oasis. It's your personal zen zone. Go ahead and max out on the extra soft sheets, super plush towels, and loungewear. You can get the best of all of it from Brooklyn. And they have different types of sheets. We have the I believe it's the Luxe sateen, but they also have classic percale. They have like heathered cashmere. They have linen. They have it all, you guys. And it's luxury sheets made affordable because they cut out the middleman. So give yourself the comfort refresh you deserve and get it for less at Brooklinen. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code BFF to get $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com, and enter promo code BFF for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's brooklinen.com, promo code BFF. So, Nick, I was also curious. I know this year you're doing No Meat Shall I Eat, right?
That's right.
What inspired that?
A number of factors, chiefly my big fat ass, but also and Mitch and I have similar sort of feelings on this, just, spending so much time immersed in the chain restaurant industry due to our podcast, you learn that so many of these companies are just run by awful people. And if you take a step back to the supply chain and you look at these gigantic agricultural, conglomerates that produce all of the bulk of the produce and the bulk of the meat that's consumed in this country, these are usually awful companies, and the standards for animal welfare are just so bad in factory farms. And so I increasingly ethically conflicted to the point where I just wasn't even enjoying a bacon cheeseburger on the same level. I couldn't I was just man, this kind of is a bummer to eat, because I just think about how these animals just lived in misery for their short lives. So it's a combination of health and ethical factors. Now, am I going to continue this indefinitely? I don't know. I'm definitely doing it for all of this year, and then I probably will reintegrate some meat or fish into my diet, but at a much lower percentage of my nutrition than it was before.
Mitch, has he changed?
Yeah, big time.
How?
He's way more of an asshole. He was an asshole, but he's way more of an asshole. He's always rubbing it in your face that he's a vegetarian now and saying no meat shall I eat all the time. I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. I'm ready for him to come back.
Now, does he say that before he eats?
We'll go to the restaurants together, and a server will come to the table and he'll say, "No meat shall I eat." That's what he says right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, welcome to PF Chang's." They give him a menu, and he rubs it in everybody's faces.
I'll usually say it again after that just to make sure they get it.
Yeah.
They're like, fine. Christ.
No,
it's include gratuity in your bill, just so you know.
It's good. I'm happy for him. It's good. He should do it. I mean, does it make us doing the it makes it more difficult for him. Mm-hmm. So it's already difficult. He does a lot of stuff. So, and I kind of just, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah. Are there any places you absolutely can't do?
This has been tricky. So we reviewed Raising Cane's, and Mitch loved Raising Cane's.
It was great.
And I honestly, in normal circumstance, I'm sure Raising Cane's would be completely up my alley. It's if you don't know about it, it's chicken fingers or tendies. And I love fried chicken so much. It's my favorite food in the world. It's the thing I miss the most.
Don't like when he says tendies, by the way.
I didn't like that either. It felt like someone just saying titties out of the blue.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll do that too sometimes.
Yeah.
It's I will say that so that place we're at Raising Cane's, and it was I realized basically there's nothing I can eat there. There's no veggie protein. My meal consisted of fries and coleslaw. and bread. They have a Texas toast. So fries, coleslaw, and bread. So I'm just getting 3 separate starch sources, a little bit of dietary fiber from the coleslaw. And then they have a Raising Cane sauce, which isn't even vegetarian because it's got Worcester. So it's, so I can't even have the special sauce. I mean, I had some of it because I didn't realize it had Worcester in it. But it's like some of these places are minefields. It's basically impossible to get a meal. But I think that's been part of what's been interesting about this exercise from the podcast standpoint.
I think it's worthwhile to point out what chains have options for vegetarians,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so like by contrast, what we covered with you, Alison, Olive Garden was great for a vegetarian. It's just like they had so many vegetarian options, and they have like a separated vegetarian section of the menu. They have everything designated as whether it's vegetarian or vegan. They actually have pretty good vegan options, which you don't run into often at chains. So it just depends. But that I was not expecting to see.
So Daniel, I don't know if you've heard the episode.
No, I don't listen to your podcasts.
No, I'm not talking about anything I'm on. Like he's a regular. Like,
I get enough.
You're like I'm a regular Doughboys listener, but I specifically went out of my way not to listen to your episode. They had a great experience at Olive Garden. Isn't that nuts?
We did.
Yeah, you told me. It's not nuts. I mean, I actually expected to have a great experience at Olive Garden. I was surprised that it wasn't better for us.
Yeah. Maybe we just got burned. Maybe it was just a bad Olive Garden. I don't know.
I think maybe it's what I ordered too. I wish I had ordered the gnocchi soup.
Right.
I think that sounded good, and I almost got it. There's, you got to get the right guy.
You opted for the Monte Cristo sandwich, right?
Yeah, not their specialty.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tony, get ready with your dun dun dun. An update to something discussed last week. I just real fast to catch everyone up. I've been working on being less dependent on external validation. I feel I've made a lot of progress. However, I had a big regressive episode of becoming obsessed with my Lyft passenger score. I don't know if you guys have ever looked up do you take Lyft or Uber?
I have in the past, not for a while, obviously. I didn't even know there was a score you could look up.
They give you a score and you can look it up. So
I'm looking up right now.
Like I said, I am always very conscientious. I feel like I'm a real 5-star passenger. So I went to look mine up, so confident that I would be faced with 5 stars. And I found that I had received 4.9. Now, when I shared that on the last podcast, it was like that, but that's good. Yes, but who decided to give me a demerit? Like, how did this happen? And yes, I did communicate with Lyft via their chat app. And yes, I did try to push them to share with me which rides I had received fewer than 5 stars on. And they kept repeating that they won't reveal this. They can't reveal this information. Could you at least tell me the city? They cannot. Was it more than one ride? It was multiple rides. So what the hell? But anyway, someone wrote, I received a DM on Instagram from someone who was laughing at this talk on the show because evidently you automatically get 5 stars. They have to manually go into the app to give you less than that. So someone went out of their way to give me less than that. And then like a very lovely listener was like, it was probably a disgruntled Adam Carolla fan who gave you a 1 star. The math checks out. And like, I want so badly to believe that, but they told me it was not just one ride. It was more than one ride.
Wait, they can't reveal.
Thank you.
They can't reveal who said what, but they can say how many negative reviews you have.
I'm surprised he wouldn't. I just said, "Can you just tell me was it 1 or was it more than 1?" And he said it was more than 1.
Wow.
He probably wasn't even supposed to tell me that. I don't know. But it's like if they can't tell you.
Maybe he was a Carolla fan. Maybe that guy.
If they can't tell you, how can you improve?
Right.
Yeah.
I've opened my Lyft app.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, my Lyft app, I do have a perfect 5.0 rating.
Oh,
my God. There's a little glow there from the.
Look at that.
But I will say, and that was from 49 rides, but I will say my Uber is not perfect.
Really?
My Uber,
Oh boy.
my Uber, I have a 4.89.
Whoa.
Wow. I wonder what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have a
Better call
sense?
them.
I don't know. I've never had an issue.
I have a theory is a strong word, but a thought on why you would have gotten 4 stars instead of 5.
Oh, this is good. Careful, Tony. I pay you.
No, it has nothing to do with you.
Okay, I like what I'm hearing so far.
I think that some people.
Hate Jews?
Whoa.
No,
I'm just saying
honey,
the obvious.
Honey, come on. Everybody hates Jews.
Thank you.
Not some people. Come on.
I think some people think that you can only give the 5 stars to like something that is just absolutely perfect and there's no possible way to improve, and maybe they go 4 stars with like, yeah, that was good, I don't really have any complaints, but maybe there's still some room for improvement. I don't know.
Like they're withholding.
Yeah, like
But
they don't want to quite give that 5.
Possibly.
But as a
that feels right.
passenger, what room for improvement? What does that even mean? You
I don't
what
know.
mean?
But I feel like I'm more thinking about this, on like Yelp reviews or even movie reviews or something.
Right.
Sometimes
You want the 5 star to mean something.
Yeah, I've looked at
Right.
Yelp reviews that like you read the part and it's like nothing but rave, and then it's like 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Why is it only that?
You know what I
But
like?
in a customer's
I like a really shitty review that's 5 stars, like a podcast review.
Yes.
That amuses me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
fun move.
the whole thing was joking. What were you going to say, Nick?
Oh, just from a customer service standpoint, like this is a thing I learned from apps is if you give someone less than 5 stars, you are saying, I think this person should be fired.
Yeah.
Because there is a threshold for when you get automatically terminated by like Uber and Lyft and Postmates, and it's like 4.5 stars or even higher for some of these services. So yeah, it's really not going to be at all an accurate reflection. I mean, if you treat it like an accurate reflection of your experience and give most people 3 stars, you're being a huge perhaps inadvertently being a huge asshole.
Right.
I did want to say one thing about Mitch's Uber because I don't know if this is still the case, but Mitch for a long time
It is the case.
I would get in an Uber with you, and the driver would be, because the driver will be like, hey, you're Nick, just confirming your name. The driver would say to Mitch, "You must be the top dog." Because his Uber name is the top dog, Mitch.
That's amazing.
That's why you're not a 5.
That is amazing.
It is still the top dog. I haven't used Uber much in a while, but I jokingly put it as the top dog at one point because I thought it was funny. And
Yeah.
It
then,
is.
and then
It
it
is.
was like a drunken night where I put my name as the top dog because I thought it would be funny for like friends to hear. The driver would be like, "Are you the top dog?" And I'd be like, "Yep." And I thought that was fun. And then after that night, I didn't take it off. I mean, I should just change it now, but is it still funny to just leave it now forever? I mean, it's tricky for me.
I like it. I think you should leave it.
Keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes they do like it. I mean, a lot of the times the driver's like, it thinks it's funny especially because it's me. They expect like someone very cool, and then I'm like, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh my god."
One of my most recent rides, it was my first Lyft ride post-pandemic. I don't even know if we can say post-pandemic because I feel like we're still kind of like media pandemic in the midst of the pandemic. But it was my first Lyft ride in all of this. I was not planning on taking a Lyft ride. However, I parked. I had a hair appointment, my first hair appointment after all of this, and I parked my car in a lot that got locked. So I had to take a Lyft, and I was kind of nervous about it, even though I was vaccinated. And Daniel told me he had seen a documentary about, or read something about like the safest way to be in a car if you're a passenger is to have the passenger side window open and the
In the
driver's
backseat.
side back window open to create a cross breeze or something.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I did ask if we could have the windows like that because he had all the windows down, and I asked if we could do it like that. I don't know. Could that have pissed? I mean, I should be checking my score each time. You know what started is I thought I would share this because it's funny, but instead it's just turned into an indulgent exploration of who possibly of all my Lyft rides. It started in Oakland for Sketchfest. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, if you're out there and you have ever given me a ride, I would like to know, how was it for you? Any notes? Tony, I like your theory, but the problem with your theory is, like I recently found out, it's just automatic that they get a 5 and they have to go back. They have to go into the app.
Yeah.
But you're right. Someone could be so like persnickety that they're like, I'm going to go in and give everyone a 4.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to make you feel better because I don't know what it's going to take because this is
Week
one
2.
of the more insane things I've ever heard.
Thank you.
I have
Tony,
to say,
do you ride Lyft? Do you have a Lyft rating?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Let's find out.
Yeah, check your ratings, Nick.
Yeah.
I can reinstall. I don't even have the app installed anymore.
Oh.
Let me reinstall.
Neither
No,
of
I'm
them.
sure we could make this happen.
Lyft or
No,
Uber?
I was like, I'm not using these. I'm
Wow.
recondoed. My phone as well.
Okay. Well,
Simplified everything.
did you? While you do that, I will tell you guys about something that would never do you wrong, unlike what we were just talking about, and that is the Embark Breed and Health Test. Embark is a dog DNA company. I love Embark. We did it with Wendy. It's super easy. You just swab your dog's cheek. You send it in. You receive all sorts of info. We knew she was a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. That was confirmed. But all sorts of info about genetic diseases she may or may not be at risk for. And something that I think is super cool is you can opt into, there's almost like a social networking aspect of it. We have a little bio up for her, and I can see her and like reach out to her relatives. I get updates when a new relative of hers, when they've discovered a new relative of hers. I've communicated with the owners of her, of dogs who are related to her. It's just super great. And Jackie Johnson did it as well with Chooch, who is mixed breed, and found out all sorts of details about what Chooch actually is. It's just, if you love your dog, which I'm sure you do, you need to do the Breed and Health Kit from Embark. It is great. Learn your dog's inner secrets with Embark, the highest rated dog DNA test. Right now, Embark has an offer on their Breed and Health Kit for our listeners. Go to embarkvet.com to get free shipping and save $50 off your Embark Breed and Health Kit with promo code BESTFRIEND. Visit embarkvet.com and use promo code BESTFRIEND to save $50 today. Again, that's embarkvet.com and use promo code BESTFRIEND to save $50. Okay.
honey, I have to say that
Everyone here is going to have a 5. I know it. I can feel it.
if I were to have to give you ratings as a passenger when I drive,
Uh-oh.
what do you think? What do you think your rating would be?
Well, I mean, just if you were rating me as my husband for how I am
Just
as a
as
passenger.
the driver of you in a car.
Well,
I'm just saying,
okay, fine.
I might relate to the person who didn't give you 5 stars.
You would give me like a 1 or less. But I am a
might.
different person with you. I'm my true self. I'm pretending with everyone else. I would never be as annoying as I am with
don't-
other people.
You don't scream like you're on the Matterhorn every time someone taps lightly on the brakes when you're in someone
I
else's car.
don't. I don't do any of that.
Well, that's good.
I'd give you 5 stars. You
Thank
get 5
you.
stars from me.
Thank you. All right. Does anyone here have their score?
Okay, so I can't find it. I don't know where it is in the Uber, but I have my Lyft one.
Is it 5?
Yeah, it is 5.
I knew it. How many
so, Nick.
rides? How many rides?
Hold on, wait. It just popped up with a health safety commitment thing that I guess I have to click through. Hold on.
Oh.
I'm just gonna click yes on everything. I don't know if this is okay. 439 rides. It's more than I expected.
Oh my
Wow.
A lot
God.
of rides.
I have.
Yeah.
I've only done 58 rides. I need to do like 300 and something more rides to get my number up. Tony, do you have a 5 too?
This will make you feel better. I have a 4.8. Worse
Oh
than
my
you.
God. From Lyft?
Wow.
from Lyft, yes.
Tony, I'm sorry to drag you into my own personal hell.
No, it's fine because I could not care less.
How do you do that?
How do I not care less?
Yes.
Because it's okay. That's based off 109 rides. I don't know any of those people. Also, I tend to just kind of not talk unless they start talking to me, and then I give kind of short answers, I think. And I just sort of mind my own business and then once I'm out of the car, I don't think about it again.
Isn't that 5-star behavior? I mean, Nick, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a chatty Cathy.
Oh.
I'll talk him up. I'll talk up everyone.
Which is weird because he won't talk much to like friends. Like,
right.
You'll be at like the bar and like Nick will be quiet and be like, "I'm going home," and he won't. But then
he's saving it up for the ride.
We've talked about this before on Doughboys, but we were in Portland and we were in a car ride with a guy from Transylvania.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And a guy from Transylvania who was saying to us that Dracula like got like a bad rap. This is true.
Pro Dracula guy.
He was a pro Dracula guy from Transylvania. And we chatted him up the whole time. You are really chatty with Uber and Lyft drivers. But yeah, the guy was like, it's like, what is it, Vlad the Impaler or whatever his name it really is?
He was like, he was actually a good administration. He solved a lot of problems. Like, all right, sure.
And then I asked, I was like, were there a lot of bats there? And he's like, yes, there are.
Huh. So maybe you need to be friendly. Maybe it's my resting bitch vibe. Because I will talk to them if they talk to me, but in general, I'm never like, oh, good, we get to talk.
Right.
Well, sometimes drivers don't want to talk, so and that's
true too.
I feel like not for Lyft though. In general, for Lyft, they usually seem pretty chatty. Well, I'm only 58 rides in. I don't know.
Are you guys front seat or back seat?
Back seat.
I go front seat, and I tell them, and this is true. I say I go front seat, and I say I get motion sick in the back seat, so they're not upset with me.
Wow.
See, it's a dream to me if an Uber or Lyft driver doesn't want to talk, if I'm in the mood to not talk, if I'm like tired or something, and they don't want to talk. It's a dream come true for me. But if they do want to talk, I'll talk to. I'm kind of like you, Alison, where I'm now upset about my 4.89, and I need Wiger to figure out where his Uber rating is because I got to make sure he's not perfect 5 on Uber.
Yeah.
Where did you find it? I can't figure it out.
Right up there in that top right corner. Just click on that. And then it should be below your name.
Hold on.
I'm sorry I've done this to everyone. It really spun off of me trying to be less dependent on external validation. It's like I got off of opiates and now I'm just doing heroin.
Yeah.
That's a bad bad analogy.
It's exactly what it's like. You're right.
All right, here we go. Wags, let's hear it, Wags.
I just found my rating. It's not 5.0.
Yeah, baby.
It is 4.99.
Damn it.
What?
I lost 100th. I don't know what happened.
How many rides are we talking?
Where do I see that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know where we see
with
it.
this.
I couldn't find the ride number, but I'm mad.
Yeah.
I am mad that Wiger is beating me on the Uber. He's 0.10 ahead of me.
People like to chat. Makes the shift go quicker.
I chat too.
Yeah, I know.
You don't sit in the front seat though.
I don't. No, I will never sit in the front seat. I think that's. You're probably weirding them out. They expect you to sit in the back seat.
There are times definitely when it's an annoyance where they're like, let me move these water bottles or whatever, you know. So that I feel bad then.
But
I
then,
will say
even
this.
then you're getting a 5.
I will say this, that when I was in Atlanta and I was shooting a movie in Atlanta and there was car service, I was in the back seat and my driver said that she was talking about like some actor that she had, and I forget who it was. It was someone cool. It was like a Hemsworth or somebody. But she said that she loved it because he was like, I'm going to ride up front with you, and like got up right up front and sat with her, and she loved that he sat in the front seat. And so I was like, oh, so maybe some drivers do like it if you're in the front. It might be it might be a situation of like being in the back feels too much like I'm getting my little ride. I'm being chauffeured or whatever. You know, like that might be a part of it.
I could imagine there are drivers who don't want to feel like they are chauffeuring you around, but they are. That's the point. That's what the service is. I think my score just went down.
No ride.
It's happening.
Score went down.
Okay. So, how reemerged into society are you guys? I have now had one friend came over and we recorded something in person, and it was amazing to just be like, oh my God, we're just having a conversation and it's being recorded. It's not this computer remote thing. That was amazing. And I got coffee with a friend, and Daniel and I went to a little party, and an outdoor birthday small party. In all situations, very early on in the face-to-face of it all, I was like, everything feels like it's going too fast. Like I need to just take a breath.
Yes.
Like it's a little bit overstimulating.
Yeah, I had the same sort of reaction. Here's my full roster of activities. I have dined outside with my parents. My parents have been inside our apartment, and my dad could not have taken his mask off quicker. Just immediately, like, you don't need this thing. Like, and then I went to a Lakers playoff game.
Oh wow,
which
That's
was
big.
a wild experience. That was just jumping into the deep end. And I was in a vaccinated section. You had to have proof of vaccination to sit there. Weirdly, they just cleaved the arena in half. Like half the arena was a vaccinated section that was fuller capacity, and the other half was no proof of vaccination. And that was like 30% capacity. So it was just a
that's
clear
not
divide
how
in
the
terms
science
of,
works.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was a really weird way to do it. But everyone was masked, and there was like they're very excited fans in front of me who like turned around for high fives, which I was not prepared for, and that was surreal. But I did it.
You know what? No, who I heard came up with that plan. What doctor came up with that plan? Dr. J.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's not an MD. And then I also got a haircut, which was a very strange experience. And I I went to a social gathering just last night, watched a wrestling pay-per-view at my friend Mike Carlson's place. It was like a half dozen people just sort of sitting inside a house. It was very fun, but it felt very uneasy.
Yeah. What about you, Mitch? You've been filming movies and things.
No, not since I shot a TV I did one episode on a TV show that was shooting in over here in Massachusetts, weirdly, and I just did one day on it, and it was like super. When we got on set, we were and that felt the weirdest because it was still things were not safe. It was like winter time and things were, and so you got tested the morning of, and then it was not. It was not a fun experience, honestly. It was kind of scary. I felt like I shouldn't have done it after the fact, but they were they were extremely safe and testing people like before and after. So, and nothing came of it. But I've been living with my mom, so it's been tough. But Nick knows this, that I went to my buddy Micus. He bought an apartment, and so we went and hung out there. And then that was my first time back at a bar. So I went to a bar. This is like 3 weeks ago, maybe. So that was my first night back at a bar, and it was just the group of us. And then there was like another group like 50 feet away on the other side of the bar, but they left. So it was just kind of us in there and a bartender, and we stayed masked and stuff like that. And then just this last week, I'll tell you everything that I went to Brooklyn. I went on a trip to Brooklyn with people who were vaccinated, like 5 other Quincy guys that were vaccinated. And so I went to Brooklyn. I drank in a couple bars, and then when I got back from Brooklyn, I ate in a restaurant for the first time.
Inside?
Inside.
Nice.
For the first time with my sister and this other family from Quincy that we just ran into. And they were vaccinated, so we had dinner with them, which was kind of crazy because it was my first one back. And then that same week, I went and had lunch inside, and then on Friday I did my first keg stand since the vaccination. I got a keg for a Quincy house party where everybody was vaccinated, and the keg was outside. But I did a keg stand.
Yeah, weirdly, the CDC released specific guidance for doing cake stands.
There's a video of it up online. I tweeted
Yeah.
I tweeted it out. Weiger saw it.
Oh,
I did, and I replied to you, please don't die. Because
That's true. I did 30 seconds. It was pretty good.
yeah.
So
Okay.
that's everything. Oh, I got a haircut too. Just like Nick, I got a haircut that I thought was a little short, but I got a haircut from someone who had COVID, which
Wow.
I know.
Are you guys exhausted after doing anything? Because
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
scared to go out and do things now. I've been going out a lot, but like no matter how big or small it is, I just come home absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
About an hour and a half into the party, I was just like, I wanted to leave so bad. I've never felt like I wanted to leave a place more. And it wasn't because it wasn't fun. It
Yeah.
wasn't because the people weren't great.
Mhm.
And, it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's
You know?
I think I'm definitely getting tired by just going out and then I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't do stuff before. It's just tiring. I don't like to
Right.
do things. But I'm gonna see a movie in the next 24 hours, which is gonna be my first movie back.
Wow.
what is it?
I'm gonna see Quiet Place 2, and the reason I'm seeing Quiet Place 2, I told Nick this, is because that is like the pandemic movie. That's like the apocalypse movie where there were posters of A Quiet Place up for like a full year. And I feel like it's only like fitting to go and see that movie now that theaters are back, because that was like that's
Right.
like in a zombie apocalypse movie, like when there's like a poster that's been up for like a couple years later. That's like what A Quiet Place 2 felt like to me.
Yeah.
There was one up by
Wasn't it
Universal.
amazing that all those apocalypse tropes like just came true? Like it was just like someone would be like, I just went back to my office for the first time in a year, and there's a newspaper from March 18th just
Yeah.
like covered in dust. And it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly the beat you would see in a zombie movie, just marking the day of annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a Just Me or Everyone, which is a segment that we'll do in a bit. For some reason, I feel overly concerned with like people who might have had fish in fish bowls on their desk at the office.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I've just been very concerned about this. My brain keeps going there because a few weeks before everything shut down, Daniel's office had shut down because there was a big fire across the street. And so they weren't letting anyone
No,
go
it was
into
in the building.
That's what I meant. And right, it was a fire in your
It
building.
was on our floor.
That's much worse than what I thought it was happening. Well, that
in my office.
it makes even more sense why they weren't allowing anyone to go to the office then. But I'm like, what if? Really, this is more insane. I was like, what if someone had a kitten they were keeping in the office? But that makes no sense.
Right.
But really, what if they had? I was like, what about the fish?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny you say this. I remember when I was in elementary school, there was a little hamster we had, and his name was Marshmallow, and it was a white little hamster. And I was like they would have the students take them and take care of them. And we had a vacation, like, and so I brought it home for the vacation, and then I brought it back. And then that, like, next week there was so it was like March vacation or something, or February vacation maybe. And then there was a huge snowstorm, and we were gone. Like there was a long weekend and a huge snowstorm, so we were gone for like a week. And when we came back,
Oh no!
Marshmallow was basically black. They had turned the heat up in the building to like keep the pipes from freezing.
Oh no!
God.
And Marshmallow was cooked alive, and then the fish in the fish tank were cooked alive.
Oh
Like,
my God!
Jesus.
Every
that's horrifying.
Every
Freaking
animal
hot.
in this elementary, I was in 5th grade, but like every animal was just roasted.
What
It was
other
just
animals
dead.
were there?
There were hermit crabs that were like dust, basically. Like they just like fucking the heat just killed every animal in there. Also, the fact that we were gone for like another week. So
Oh my
sorry.
word!
I mean, sorry to put your to bring truth to your worst case scenario, your nightmare scenario is that that did happen.
That his name was Marshmallow.
I know.
Right.
and he
how
was
ironic.
charred to a crisp.
I know.
Like he was being
He's
roasted
smored.
over an open flame.
He got s'mored.
And
He got s'mored.
everyone gave me crap because I was the last one to take care of him. They're like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "It was a week ago. I didn't
That-
fucking toast him."
Is classic elementary school
Yeah.
logic.
Bullshit.
That pisses me off. I have been on the receiving end of stuff like that. I've talked about it before. I was blamed for a fart because I couldn't smell it. And if you can't smell your own farts, which makes no sense. You can smell your own farts.
That's nonsense.
Yeah. That's very disturbing.
That's contrary to he who smelt it dealt it. That's
what
the whole thing.
That's what I always say. Who changed the fart laws? Well, I was unawares.
Nonsense.
Allison, this is kind of fucked up, but I kind of take your classmates' side on this one. I agree with them.
Really? No.
I'm being a little stinker.
Based on my firsthand experience, odds are it was you, honey.
Okay, I would like to welcome my new patrons, and then I think we should do some Just Me or Everyone. But yeah, again, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Sign up for a year. Get 2 months free.
Alison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen.
I would like to say hello and welcome to Kathleen Brakefield and Dylan Clements. Welcome. Thank you for signing up. I hope you love it.
Wow.
Okay, let's do some Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay, this is where people write in with things they think or do, and they wonder, is it just me or is it everyone? And then we also weigh in. And if you would like to submit a Just Me or Everyone, tweet that to @ARIYNBF, Alison Rosen's your best friend on Twitter. Use the hashtag JMOE, Just Me or Everyone. And if anyone has any of their own, feel free to bring those up. Okay. Laura Craycraft says, Just Me or Everyone. Delete a tweet to correct a typo and immediately just copy and paste and tweet again, forgetting to fix the typo like you're on a clock. I don't know that I do the mistake again, but I do weirdly feel like I'm on a clock when I do that, which is weird because who is keeping track and who's like, where'd that tweet go? No one.
I would just say that in my experience, who's keeping track is some asshole who will reply to you with a screen cap of your typo tweet and say like I caught it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. I kind of just live with a typo at this point.
Hearing Nick talk with the clock ticking makes me feel like you'd be the worst 60 Minutes reporter. Like, it's like 60 Minutes people just have such calming voices, and it doesn't fit with you.
Yeah, like I'm Mike Wallace. I'm Morley Safer. I'm Nick Wiger. Hi.
Yeah, I will often leave I'll leave a typo, but if I put the wrong Twitter handle for someone or something like that.
Yeah,
I also find if I'm in Twitter composing a tweet, and I have to look up someone's Twitter handle, like I find that extra annoying for some reason.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because sometimes someone will have a display name that's not their name, and then they handle that's like I'm all about that, like it's not their name either, so you just have to remember one of those two things,
right? Like Top Dog Mitch. Okay, Chode to Joy says, why steep a large amount of tea for a short period of time instead of a small amount for longer, or forget it in the pot until it's lukewarm like me? Just mirror everyone. I've really never thought about this, but it's a fair point.
I like my tea to steep. Give me as much tea. I want as much tea from that little baggie as I can get. Give me as much tea as possible.
But will you do just one bag for a long period of time?
I'll double bag it sometimes, and I'll let it sit there. Why not? Some peppermint tea.
The little canister usually says like do it for 5 minutes, but yeah, I just leave the bag in.
Did you drink with the bag in? Because I used to drink with the bag in there, and then I stopped doing that.
Why?
But I'll because like it would like sometimes just like come up and like hit my lips or whatever.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I would get that like towards the end it would be concentrated tea, and I wouldn't love that. So
right.
I stopped doing that. I stopped drinking with the bag in because I worked with some British people and was scolded by them for doing so. Like that is like a capital offense in the UK, leaving your tea bag in and drinking from it.
I didn't know
What's
that.
all this then? Yeah, you're not supposed to do it. You got to toss the bag out. You can't leave it in there while you're sipping. I guess that leads the tea to oversteep. And the other thing that people from Britain are very, very protective of is tea water temperature. Like I remember them getting their own hot water bottle because they said the hot water in the office was not hot enough for them.
Yeah, you're supposed to like burn the tea leaves. Like it's supposed to be so hot, and then you just hit the tea leaves with that really, really scalding water.
I'm thinking of the hamster again.
But I just want like it to steep as long as possible because I just want the damn caffeine. So I don't really care about the taste. I'll take the bag, wrap it around the spoon. The concave or convex, which is the one that goes like the dome. And then you wrap the string around it, and then you give it a squeeze, and it gives it, and then you throw it away.
Yeah.
And then it just gets bitter and gross, but full of caffeine.
I'll squeeze it out too. That's the move I do now now that I don't let them sit in the cup.
How do your British friends feel about that, do you think, your coworkers?
Yeah, Nick. Oh, you letting your bag sog, are you? This is Red Nose Day, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, I worked on a UK variety show, a variety special, Red Nose Day. And very, very particular about that. I also had an incident on that show where the executive producer, who's a very accomplished writer, I had written something for the show, and he was like, "Oh, I thought that was a brilliant bit of writing," and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like went home beaming from this compliment. He said my writing was brilliant, and then the next day, he was having like toast with butter, and he said, "This toast is brilliant." I was like, "All right, well, fuck."
Speaking of English people and their water temperature, my friend Izzy, who, by the way, we've both ordered tea together, and she didn't say anything about me leaving the tea bag in, which I feel like that's also very British. To not say something and to hold her. So she was probably just fuming. But anyway, you know how electric water kettles are more popular across the pond?
Yes.
I watched her make pasta for our kids, and she was pouring in boiling water from the kettle. And I was like, that's kind of an ingenious way to do it.
Yeah.
She was like stirring it in almost a saute pan and then pouring in boiling water. I never even thought of doing that.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
But you know what? This whole chat has made me realize, fuck the Brits.
Yeah. That
seriously. Too. Is there anything that we Americans are like uptight about when other people get it wrong, food wise?
That's a great
question.
Great
people
question.
freak out about people that put. Although it's not necessarily people from other countries doing it, but people will freak out about ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah, it's a Chicago.
Yeah,
the Britain of the states. You can't put ketchup on a dog. The fucking.
Where do you guys come down on ketchup on a hot dog? I say A-OK.
Put it on there.
Yeah, go for it.
Fuck off, Chicago.
I don't personally do it, but go for it if that's what you fancy. Why not?
What do you do?
I'm a mustard relish raw onion, or I'll just do straight mustard.
You have now become Daniel's mortal enemy because he hates
the onions,
raw onions.
I can't get behind, but the mustard and the relish,
I love them.
Thumbs up.
I do ketchup, mustard, and relish.
You do what?
You do?
Ketchup, mustard, and relish. L3.
Yeah, I like all
Give me
three
all
as
three.
well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Totally valid.
Okay, Gen T. I like when people tag other people's, just me or everyone's. Someone named Jimmy Palmiotti said, when I am on eBay and about to buy from a person, I always look at what else they have listed.
Ooh.
I don't think I always do that if I feel some kind of pressure to like buy the thing quickly.
No, but I'll look at their reviews from other people who've bought from them.
Yeah.
Because I still don't trust people enough.
Do you, if you buy something on eBay, do you always leave feedback? Speaking of
Never.
ratings and feedback, because I think you're supposed to. It's like because my parents were they were eBayers for a little while, and they're like, you always should leave feedback.
I've literally
Just
had
civic
somebody
duty.
that I bought something from email me like weeks later and ask me to please leave them a review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it helps them.
That's Airbnb. They like want you to leave a review a lot of the time. I don't know if I've ever bought anything from eBay, but I understand this thing of seeing what else they have. Like I understand that of like clicking on a thing to see what else someone else is selling. I get that. I just have never used eBay, so I don't know. I can't relate to eBay. I've never purchased something from eBay. It's one of those tech booms. I never did it. There was nothing that I ever really wanted that was on eBay, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a while since they made an eBay purchase. I have dabbled in OfferUp. You guys messed with OfferUp?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything with it. What'd you buy?
Well, I was trying to sell something.
Oh.
I was trying to sell an old computer monitor, and I found it overwhelming because people will. I think because of it's just sort of like it's kind of like a Craigslist. It's like a more orderly Craigslist. But like people were just like hitting me up with counter offers, and I was just like, I don't want to turn this into some sort of weird bidding thing. Like, you want the monitor? Like, give me the like. Don't come in at like 20% of what I'm asking for and try to have some sort of we're going to haggle over this thing.
I always thought so I've sold stuff on Craigslist and I've purchased stuff on Craigslist. And my thing, if I'm going to buy something, is always I want to go look at it first and then make an offer. But everything that I've sold, the person has just said, would you take this? And I'm like, you haven't even seen it yet. But I sold a car on Craigslist, and it was it was super simple and easy. It was a used car. Well, obviously. I sold a brand new car fresh from the dealership. I just went to the dealership, took a picture.
I got this.
Yeah, it was like a very painless process.
What was that the online retail thing? I forget how long ago it was, where you would put in, they'd sell it for like $1, but if someone did more, they would sell things. It seemed like ridiculously cheap, but then
eBay?
the more people who, no, it was like
This sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it was like a bidding kind of thing, and you would buy credits or something, and
I don't know.
people would get things sometimes for really cheap.
Yes, they've had ones like this. I think it's the all pay auction model, which is weird. It feels like hazily legal, but it's like you bid super cheap, but you're on the hook for that amount.
Yeah.
So they'll oftentimes they'll sell they'll sell like a PlayStation 5 for $43, but they've collected everyone else's bids on top of that. So
yeah.
I think it's maybe Wish. Is that what it is? It's one of those apps.
You mean you put into a pot for it?
Right.
Yes, you put into a pot, and if you have the highest
that's
amount, you
super
come away with
weird.
it. Yeah,
Right.
it seems super shady.
Yeah.
I saw a professor like explain why these things should be illegal. I watched like a YouTube video, and he put $1 up for sale, and it was an all pay auction. And so like someone bid like I'll bid 10 cents, and people kept bidding more and more to the point where people were offering like $3 for $1 because that would be the only way they could recoup the money they'd already put in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like
Jesus.
It's a completely. I explained it poorly. He explained it much better.
Oh, this professor explained it better than you?
Oh, hey Tony, will you
Yeah.
do the clock sound effect, and then let's have Nick from 60 Minutes explain this again.
Okay, sure. I'm Nick Wiger. All pay auctions. Should they be legal? I don't think so. I mean, you gotta watch this video I saw this professor. Got people to pay $3 for $1.
Dear Lord, that's a nightmare.
Wonderful. Okay. Shannon Hurley says, does every woman go through a phase where they want to get a bleach blonde pixie haircut, or is that just me? I don't know if you guys can weigh in here, but
Yeah.
I have definitely been like, I want to shake it up and do something totally different. Maybe I should have platinum hair. So I think maybe every woman does do that.
I've talked about that. I want to see, like, I want to shave my head bald. I do want to see what I look like bald. And I've never done that. I had because of comedy stuff, I put on like a bald cap. but I've never really like shaved my head bald. And I feel like guys talk about that a little bit of like, should I shave my hair off? I think I shave my head.
Mhm.
So I think maybe this is like kind of kind of relatable in that way.
It's pretty universal to be like, I want to try some drastic change in hairstyle. I mean, for me, my forehead just keeps lengthening. So, like, I'm just like, at what point am I just going to go with a really close crop? I think I have enough coverage where I can kind of do this longer look I have right now. But, yeah, I have thought about that, too. And I do know this from being a baby, from baby photos, that I have, like, a weird, like, Gorbachev, country-shaped birthmark on my skull.
Wow.
So if I ever go full cue ball, that will be like a signature of me, like this weird, like, little brown spot.
Maybe it's a map to a treasure. Never know. I like the bald head, full beard look. You end up looking like one of those optical illusions where it's like the young maid and the hag, where you flip it. So that's a good look.
Or what was the magnetic guy that had the hair? You moved all the hair around.
Wasn't it
on?
Mr.
Wooly Willy?
Wooly
Willy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bex says, I feel like anyone that I would actually date is too good for me, and anyone who would actually date me is not good enough for me. That is very sad, except I totally get that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that. I've had similar thoughts.
Yeah. That's not just you.
Not just you. That's most people dating. But here's what I'll say. There's a lot. Tell me where you guys stand on this one. There's a lot of advice out there that's like, you got to just get out there. You got to kiss a lot of frogs. Or I don't know that anyone says that anymore. But like, you got to just go on a bunch of dates and eventually you meet the right person for going on a bunch of dates. I am firmly of the belief that if you don't feel like going on dates, don't push yourself to do it. Like, if you want to go, I mean, maybe it's just because I personally am so bad at doing something that I don't want, it makes me feel so yucky to like pretend to be into someone that I'm not into. I just can't do it. Mm-hmm. So I would just take long breaks from dating.
Yeah, but you can sometimes get too comfortable on that too.
I think that's right.
Where you're just like very comfortable and not dating at all, and then it could be like 2 years have gone by and you're like, oops, I didn't date at all. I think you can get, but I agree with you. If you don't want to go out and date, you shouldn't do it. It's not fun. Is dating fun? I don't think so.
No, none of this is fun. I mean, I'll say as someone who's been married for 10 years, the first part of settling down is settling. So don't feel like you're gonna find you don't have to find like the perfect person. Just you're both good enough for each other, and it's like, all right, this is fine. Let's just roll with this. What else are we gonna do? Yeah,
that'll do.
What if your wife heard that?
I mean, that's what I'm
she's the one settling. Yeah,
she's the one settling in the circumstance.
No, it's true. Okay. Wit Yao says, I get mad if I find out a dish I love is easy to make because it means I didn't have to make all those trips to that one out-of-the-way restaurant. Just me or everyone. Huh.
You getting mad?
Yeah.
At it?
Because he didn't have to make all those trips. I don't really do that because for me, eating out is like such a ambiance activity kind of thing. That I'm never like, oh man, I could, and it never tastes the same at home.
Yeah, I can never make it as good as the restaurant. Usually, is my issue is that I'm just never going to make it as good as the place I like. So to me, it's never a thing of like, wait a minute, this burger, you're telling me I could just grill a burger and it would be this? Like, it's not going to happen,
right?
It just doesn't, like a burger isn't hard to make. A burger at home, but I still like to go to Wendy's and get a cheeseburger. Like, it's not
right.
That. So, no, that never happens to me.
Those are not Big Macs, Shelley and John. So that is a drop from me telling the story about when my parents, I said, what's for dinner? And they said Big Macs. And they made because they decided one can easily make a Big Mac at home. No. And it was not at all like a Big Mac at all. No. It was like the hamburger shape was wrong. The buns were wrong. The flavor was wrong. What was on it was wrong. So there's
There's a YouTube video of like basically like they're in a lab trying to recreate the Big Mac. That's basically what they do. And like because the ingredients are listed, and some of them are just like, you can't have too much of this or it like will kill you. It's like that sort of thing where they're like dropping in like drops of
Poison.
stuff that's used. Yeah, like basically like stuff that's used in like creating plastics or whatever. It's just like weird shit. And the guy makes like a big, but it's impossible. You can't make a Big Mac. That's what I'm saying is there's so many chemicals and things in it that you're just not going to be able to make. It's not a good thing that you can't make one, but you're not going to be able to make one that's. I feel like the closest thing to it, Nick, is pie and burger. That's the closest thing anyone's going to make to like a fresh Big Mac.
The Pasadena chain. By the way, or Pasadena one. They just have the one location, right?
Yeah. Just the one.
By the way, that sounded like your 60-minute segment. Which is debunking that you can make your own Big Mac.
There's no way you can make a Big Mac at home. It's insane. You need the chemicals. It's chemicals. You can only get it at the restaurant. I'm Mike Mitchell. This is 60 Minutes.
Yeah. The problem was, I mean, arguably some people would actually prefer what they made because it was like a fresh, juicy burger with some kind of Thousand Island sauce. Their problem was they called it a Big Mac, and children, and I know this both from being one and from having them, they are extremely literal. So when they said Big Macs, that's what I thought we were getting, and it was not.
Yeah,
and also just because things
fair.
are fresher sometimes, it doesn't necessarily mean it tastes better.
Agreed.
That's
Tony's
how
right.
If people bring up, this might upset Wiger, but people talk about the In-N-Out fries being so fresh, but I don't unless I get them animal style, I don't like the In-N-Out fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm livid, but that's fair. I think it's definitely a thing where
In-N-Out fries are good. You just need to ask them to be well done and add salt. Fucking bullshit.
No, actually, I love the In-N-Out burger. I do like the fries, but I understand that's nostalgia operating on me. Like I totally get people who are saying they just completely disapprove of the fries. The person who asked the question, I think one way to address that is just your specific issue is just to mentally separate what you can make at home and what you could never make at home to that degree of proficiency. That might make dining out more of an experience. Like, I feel like, and I don't know your exact circumstances, but it's probably being like a sushi chef is such like an artisanal profession that requires so much training. You're probably never going to make good sushi at home. So maybe that's your night out. You go to a nice sushi restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Get ready for this. We were watching something, and I was like, wow, they're making sushi at home. Was it Vanderpump Rules? There was something. It was something where I was surprised that they were making sushi because I was like, "That seems pretty fancy." I feel like it was Vanderpump Rules. Right. Wow, they're making sushi at home. And then Daniel was like, "Sushi's actually one of the easier things to make at home."
Interesting.
Does this ring a bell, Daniel, or was this my other husband? Also named Daniel.
No, I feel like it is easy to make at home unless you're trying to make something that's like of the quality that you could get at a really good sushi place. That's not as easy. But you could make basic sushi at home, and it's pretty easy.
I mean, we got two people who host a food podcast shaking their heads.
I think maybe...
This seems impossible.
I think Daniel's right. I think you could make it if you want to make like a California roll. Yeah, you could probably knock out a competent version of that.
Mm.
You could get tuna and do some tuna rolls. That's pretty easy.
I feel like it's not going to be nearly
the hard
as good
part is
as
probably
at a
getting the
restaurant.
fish. It's not going to be as much making the sushi, but just getting the quality fish.
Like I think
making the
tuna.
rice just right, like doing the specific cuts, like if you're getting like a good nigiri, like the not rolls, or like a sashimi, like I feel like that's pretty tough to pull off in your home.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But even if you're like, hey, I can do sushi. In fact, I get mad going to a sushi restaurant because I could do this at home. Fine, there's probably something else that you can't. Maybe gnocchi is it? Maybe it's pad thai. There's got to be some dish that you can't do to a degree of proficiency as an expert.
Stop getting mad.
Yeah, stop getting mad. Calm down.
I'm getting mad because I
or
can
just be happy that you can now make it at home and you don't have to go to the place.
There you go.
I feel my poor mom. She means so well, but I can still remember the taste of her homemade sushi. And it was similar to the Big Mac. I think my dad made that. But the sushi, it's like the seaweed was tasted wrong, the rice tasted wrong, and the cucumber was like cut too thick. They did have that cool little, it looks like a bunch of skewers, all that like little mat that you use to roll it.
Cool as fuck.
Yeah, it was cool, but it didn't taste good. Maybe homemade sushi has come a long way or something. I don't know.
It's just more trouble than it's worth because then you got to go get
there
the
you
right
go.
ingredients, and it's just why do it?
I mean,
Sushi is like a meal to me that it was like when I was a teenager. It was like it felt very foreign in many ways. Like it was not a normal thing that we had a lot of the time. There was a lot of Chinese food where I was, and there was and like a lot of time eating Japanese food growing up. It was like chicken and beef teriyaki or something. It wasn't. And so I remember like the first time I ever tried sushi, I was probably like 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
That's way younger than I was.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like outside of California or some like maybe New York City or something, it was hard to find stuff like that. And I said this to Nick, but when I was younger, like Mexican food is like my favorite. Like it's up there with Italian food as my favorite foods. And when I was a kid, Mexican food felt so foreign and different and like crazy to me when we would go to a Mexican food restaurant. And now it is nothing. But like that's how much everything's changed in the last 20 or 30 years of eating the stuff that sushi is just in the supermarket now, and that was not a thing.
I feel like sushi came on the scene suddenly when I was a kid, and I don't know if that's accurate or if it's just that I became aware of it suddenly. I feel like it had
I feel like the 80s.
Yeah,
is
like
when
it
they
had a
came in.
cultural wasn't there a sushi man character on SNL?
Was there?
Samurai.
The samurai. He was a samurai.
Yeah.
The Belushi thing.
Maybe.
he was a
My
samurai.
brothers used to imitate it, so I never actually saw it. I just saw their imitation of it, and then I remember hearing sushi raw fish and thinking like, "Ew, gross," and then going to a sushi restaurant, and then at the beginning I would never eat the fish because that just sounded. I was a kid, but then eventually trying fish, and then now sushi is like very normalized.
But you were a California kid, right?
I was, yeah. But
See?
like I said, I feel like there was no awareness of it until I was maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That roughly corresponds to my timeline. I definitely remember seeing it for the first time and thinking it was strange to eat raw fish. And I also remember, I think that was like a thing, like a joke like a thing you'd hear talked about on TV and movies. Like what? Like raw fish? What is that? What's going on?
Remember, it's in Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it-
that's right.
Yeah, and that was 80 something.
I feel like it's like a Beverly Hills 90210. I probably saw it or saw like Leno be like, sushi. Leno said sushi at one point.
Right.
Sounds
Kevin
right.
was like, "Come on, Jay."
Come on,
That's
Jay.
Oh my God. That's such a like good encapsulation of what's wrong with Leno in just one word.
We're going to go get some sushi. I was like, what is the joke here?
That's the punchline.
It was so much fun having you guys on the show. Thank you. Listeners, if you like what you're hearing, please make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following whatever the terminology is on your app of choice. Hey, tell a friend. That helps out the show. And also, please leave a 5-star, please. I care. Or however many stars you feel that it's, worth. Please leave a nice review of the podcast. I read them on the show sometimes, but I read all of them, and that makes a difference and helps people find the show as well. Also, I mentioned Patreon already, and I am on Cameo as well. And Mike Mitchell, where can everyone find you? And please plug anything you would like to plug.
The Doughboys podcast available wherever you get your podcasts, and then patreon.com/Doughboys to get the Doughboys double.
Patreon.
And then and then I'm in a movie called The Tomorrow War that comes out July 2nd on Amazon Prime. So check that out.
Nice. My real life new friend, Mary Lynn Rice Cub, is also in that movie, right?
And Mary Lynn and I were like best buds during all of shooting. We hung out all the time.
She's so nice, right? This is like an
Yeah, she
ongoing thing that I've been sharing on the podcast. She came on my show and we totally hit it off. And I think, and this is so rare as an adult, we are becoming real life friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's great.
We've hung out twice.
A great person to be friends with. We hung out. We were like the only two actors that lived in a specific hotel. And so I saw her all the time.
I love it.
She's great.
Nick, what about you?
Check out Mitch's movie, The Tomorrow War. It's I can say that they sent me a link and I got to watch it. It's
Nick's seen
great.
it.
It's so I have like an NDA, so like I can't say anything more specific than I liked it, and maybe I'll get sued for saying that. But check it out, July 2nd on Amazon Prime. It's awesome, and Mitch is like you're great in it.
Thank you, Wags.
It's really cool.
Wags knows if I'm full frontal in it, and he can't say whether I am or not.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Wow.
Yeah,
Anything's possible.
Did you get to meet Bezos?
Bezos, he came to the set once or twice.
Oh wow.
No, he never came by.
Daniel, what about you?
You can find me at Daniel Quant's Twitter and Instagram. And that's it. Dragged into this podcast every week.
Tony?
No, I love it.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. Also check out Song a Week every Wednesday by Don't Stop or We'll Die. I produce that and play drums on that too. And then Motion City Soundtrack Tour 2022. Tickets are on sale now.
Wonderful. Oh, and if you missed the Monday episode of this show, it was a Daniel and me and Your Calls episode. We also had an installment of Daniel's Cool Beans where he reviews beans, and a news quiz, a first time ever news quiz. So look
Very
out.
exciting.
Wait, don't tell me. You guys, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I loved it. Please come back. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show?